officially. So it's 4 o'clock. And we're happy and delighted to have Mr. Steve Wright with us. Some of you met with him before. Who met with him before? No? Okay. So you have
good strangers. I won't bore them with the same old stuff.
Okay. And we are videotaping it, and we have Brandon with us. Thank you, Brandon, for coming. And with much ado, I'll leave all the time for Steve Wright and for you. We received some questions from you. He got them, and he will address them, and he will entertain any other persons on the fly if you have something to make the discussion flowing. We will finish a little bit early today because we have the reception, retirement reception for Dr. Tom Waska, and I know many of you would love to be in there. I would love to, and I told Steve he also would love to. So we will finish around 3 or 3:10, 3:15, something like that, depending on how we go. And without much ado, welcome.
Thanks. Well, I told you my name. And I see this is a 400 level class, so you're probably going to be job seekers soon, right? And I also noticed there was questions about how do I go about that. So I'll try to cover the questions you had fairly quickly. Some of them are, several of you want to know the same thing. I'll try and go through these, and then hopefully those will bring up some other things you'll want to ask me. So the first topic was my experience and probably my company, but just to give you a little history about myself, if you all been here 4 years, you know where Oakland is? That's where I grew up. So my first point of advice or experience is you don't have to leave home to be successful. My company does about $50 million a year, so we're a good-sized business in Central Illinois. And I admit I did go to Fort Lauderdale for 3 years, and I hated it, so I came home. So, but there are questions about my education. I went 2 years here, and at that time, when we're talking about the 60s, Eastern did not have a engineering program or this program. So they had pre-engineering. I went through that, and then I went to SIU and got a degree in civil engineering down there. A question was, did I have the right education for what I'm doing? I do. The technical education is great. The one thing that they didn't do back then, and I understand that you do get some business courses in this program. Very important if you're going to be an entrepreneur and want to have your own business. I knew nothing about it. It took me about 10 years to figure out how to read a financial statement and do cash flow projections and things like that. And it's a real disservice, but even then, you know, it was hard to get through engineering school in less than 5 years. And it hasn't become any easier. So some business courses would have been quite important. Had this program existed, this is what I would have done, because I always wanted to build things. Didn't care about sitting down and figuring out a hydraulic equation. I just liked electric or erector sets when I was a little kid. So as far as getting hooked up with Walmart, in 1980, this company called Walmart that I'd never heard of was bidding a job in Robinson, Illinois. So we wrote to them and asked to be included on the bid list, and they put us on it. And we just got thumped, badly beaten. So what we did after it was being built by our competitor who was successful, we went down there and watched all the subcontractors that came in and out, wrote down their phone numbers, and pretty soon they bid the old Mattoon store. Well, now we got subs that know how to do them. We called them all. We got Mattoon. That was our first one. It was 1981. And I'm proud of the fact that since then I've never not been working on a Walmart, 25 years. So we also do other big box stores, Lowe's, projects you might be familiar with. Of course, we built the Walmart here. We did the Home Depot in Mattoon. We've done some Lowe's around, not nearby. Did 2 of the Walmart stores in Champaign, Savoy, and then the new one up north. Not Urbana, but Champaign. Before that, the first job Colcon had, we built a loading dock for GE in Mattoon. It was about, I don't know, $18,000 job or something like that. The Walmarts we do today, depending on size, run from $7 to $15 million. So, but it took 30 years to get there. So, I own all the stock in Colcon. I'm not really an architect. I just we're one of many contractors. They have about 100 of us that build them. Their program they're on right now is 400 stores a year. We do 5 or 6 of those. But I started out just, like anybody else, and it just sort of grew. I told the class I spoke to this morning, I've never been one to do long-term planning. I'm pretty sure I know what we'll do next week, and I got a good idea about next month. But I never had a long-term plan to do anything other than organize my company so we could react and be flexible. Because in the construction business, particularly with these, I can't go down on the square and set up a store and say, come by Walmart's, they're on sale this week. I got to wait until a client wants to build. And who knows when that's going to be. So what has happened, particularly over the last 5 years, we were doing 2 or 3 of these a year for 15 years. But they got on this huge building program. In fact, a vice president of construction came to our office one day, just scared me to death. I thought he was coming to kill us, and wanted to know if we were prepared to instead of doing 3 stores a year for him, to do 5. And of course, we said sure, yeah. And but I've hired people that they think on their feet well, and they're real hardworking, because even though we're a fairly big company for this area, I only have 22 employees. So, there a lot is expected of them. Since my computer lady retired, I'm the oldest one in the company, and I was only 33 when I started, so I'm 63 now. But I've got a couple of people that are, only a year or 2 from where you're sitting right now. And so I really have a lot of faith in young people. In fact, I prefer them over somebody that's worked for Kellogg, Brown and Root, for example, who's one of the biggest, or Bechtel or Halliburton, because I don't care how they do it. I want you, a prospective employee, to learn how we do it and how we can do that big of projects with this few people. Okay, contracting. It's basically, it seems like Brian and Asar, is that how you say it? Asar? Kind of want to know how we went about getting these. We bid every one of them. The low bidder gets it. There are usually 3 to 5 bidders on each job. And I use some of the same examples I used this morning. If you manage to get on the bid list and you beat me $1, and I've done 100 of them, you'd get the job. That's how they are. They pre-qualify you. They wouldn't let you bid it if they didn't think you were capable. So if you're the low bidder, you're the contractor. That experience means, it means a lot to them, because that's how you get on the bid list. But it's Colcon, and which is my company, and 3 other guys just like us that have done a lot, and whoever's low gets it. And they never negotiate. They never try to beat you down. It's just, that's the price. So, and of course, like I say, they're building 400 a year. We do 5 or 6. So there's a lot of them being built other places by companies far bigger than mine. So you'd ask about how we select subcontractors. We're looking for people who have experience with jobs the size of ours. For example, say an electrician. Walmart electrical work will run $500,000 to $600,000. We'd like to know that the company we're dealing with has done something that big or near that big. I know that early in a job you need 6 electricians there. Late you need 12. And I've watched that dozens and dozens of times. So, I'm going to say, can you put 12 people out there for 3 months? And if they say, well, no, I've only got 9 and I've got other jobs, then you probably can't work for us, because it's, I just know it takes that many. We've had people try and do it with less, and then we're screaming at them and they're working 7 days a week to get caught up. So we like, references from other clients, financial capability, of course. We like to talk to their bonding company. We like to talk to their banker, insurance company, because we don't want somebody halfway through can't pay their bills, or their insurance gets canceled or something. It's just the schedules on these things are very tight. From the day we break ground until we hand the store over to them, and most of the time it's 7 months. Now occasionally if we start one in November up here, they'll cut us a little bit of slack because of the winter, but we just are starting one in Lincoln, Illinois right now, and it's to be done in 1st of January. So, and then my guys stay there about 2 months after that. The contract completion date's when they start stocking the store, doing their setup. Takes a couple months for that. We stay till grand opening. Once they're open, and we usually can leave. So it's a commitment of about 9 months for 2 people, because I have to put 2 superintendents on the jobs. So basically I've got 5 sets of superintendents, 10 of them total.